Welcome to our countdown of the top 10 most daring rescues. In this short series, we discover the most dangerous rescue missions ever attempted. Subscribe to follow along and comment on which mission you think should be on this list. Also, stay tuned to the end of this video to hear the soldiers' recount of events in their own words. In the heart of Sierra Leone's dense jungle, a story of heroism and audacity was about to unfold. It was a tale that would test the limits of human courage, a story known as Operation Barras. The year was 2000, and tensions in Sierra Leone had reached a boiling point. A group of British soldiers, part of a United Nations peacekeeping force, found themselves in the crosshairs of a rebel faction known for its brutality. Captured during a mission, these soldiers were thrust into a nightmare, trapped within a rebel-held camp far from civilization. But across the ocean, in the hallowed halls of the British military, a plan was hatched. It was a plan that would require nerves of steel. A team of elite soldiers, battle-hardened and unflinching, was assembled for a daring rescue mission. As dusk settled over the jungle, the team assembled at a nearby base. On the morning of September 10, 2000, the helicopter assault force went into action. It consisted of 2 Chinook helicopters carrying SAS and SBS fire teams, 70 men total, to 2 landing zones, while the 3rd Chinook carried paratroopers. 2 Lynx Mk-7 attack helicopters from 657 Squadron AAC, armed with miniguns, and 1 MiL-24 gunship manned by friendly local forces. Since stealth was impossible, the plan was to hit the camp with maximum speed and firepower, hopefully catching the West Side boys off guard, so they had little time to react and kill the hostages. As the SAS and SBS fire teams fast roped out of the choppers, the helicopter gunships opened up on the Magbeni camp. The first wave of paratroopers were inserted by the 3rd Chinook, which quickly flew back to base to pick up the second wave. The shock and awe of the landings, supported by air support, had worked. Many of the West Side boys were asleep and nursing hangovers when the assault force had suddenly appeared over their camp. The downdraft from the Chinooks tore off many of the tin roofs of the flimsy shacks that made up their camp. Adding to the confusion, the SAS teams emerged from hiding in the nearby jungle and engaged the enemy. Under the cover of all this sound and fury, the SAS hostage rescue team were able to find and secure the 7 hostages. The rest of the SAS and SBS fire teams went through their carefully planned and rehearsed objectives, clearing buildings and setting up defensive positions. The fighting was tough, and the West Side boys were no pushovers. Despite lacking discipline or any real sense of tactics, they seemed to be completely fearless. The battle raged for many hours before it was deemed safe enough to call in the Chinooks to extract the hostages and assault teams. The SAS lost 1 man, named as Brad Tinian, while the paratroopers had 12 wounded, 1 seriously. At least 25 rebels were confirmed killed, although the number may be much higher, as many may have been killed by gunship attacks along the tree lines. The leader of the West Side boys, Fode Calais, had been captured in the raid. Despite the brutal fight, Operation Barras had been a resounding success and one of the top daring rescue missions of all time. Which daring rescue mission do you think should be on our top 10 list? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe to find out which ones made our countdown.
Sure, really. We were wondering where we were going to go. No one knew where we were going to go. There was a lot of rumours going about, and then we eventually got told that we were going over there and we were going to do the business.
Well, when we went back to brief the lads, it was myself, Toon Commander, and all the force crews. We always get together and have a conflab, and we decided just tell them straight. And when we told them, some were very, oh my God, are we actually going to do this? Not realising to join the army to do it, and the other ones were cheering and saying, like, good, let's get on with it, let's do it, come back to your medals.
We got told that it was going to be quick, in and out, which suited the parachute regiment, and we were going in by Chinook.
It was in the middle of the night, but it was about 6 o'clock in the morning. It was dark out there, and we were surrounded by mountains, and you could hear the Chinook coming like from the distance, and it sounded mega.
They'd taken the seats up, so we was all sat on the floor. They needed to get as many blokes in the helicopter as possible.
Looking at the beck, and you're going towards the jungle, you're going over loads of lakes and stuff. And it is pretty amazing.
It was just an awesome feeling. Low flying over Sierra Leone, it was a good feeling.
Because the other Chinook that landed before us, they jumped into some big swamp, and they come up to their chest in water, but they screwed the nut for us a bit and brought us a bit closer to the jungle, so it wasn't as bad.
We could hear rounds going off, we could hear explosions going off, so which was very nerve-wracking.
Most of the blokes, that's the best patrolling you ever seen, blokes doing their lives. Half the time they think it's a joke and all that, but some of them severely, you don't have to say spread out and all the rest of it now. They just automatically did it.
We'd come round and we could see 2 platoon attacked in at the moment, so we had to like peel off around them and go towards our building. But there was still fire going down and fire coming back.
We achieved our objectives it just seemed in no time at all.
We did have casualties, and they were on the Chinook. Fair play to the Chinook pilots. They still had the hostages on the Chinook when it flew back in the middle of contact and landed in the middle of the village, and the casualties were actually dressing, given morphine and gone within about 5 minutes.
You think that you learn everything in training, but once you get into actually into the field and into operations, you do learn a little bit more. I think you get a little bit more mature and a little bit more wary of your surroundings.
I went in with 26 blokes and I come back with 26 blokes. So being a platoon sergeant, I was happy.
Like everything we get taught gets taught to like the last detail. So I wasn't too bothered about training and stuff, because I knew like if anything did happen, training would just kick in anyway.
They performed just as well as any other junior soldier.